Here is a Raks 12-inch, supposed to be oscillating table fan, but the oscillation doesn't work on this one. It's the model DF-12TK, and it is a dual voltage fan. It says this item is dual voltage. $110 or $220. So how cool is that? I've seen these fans for sale before on the internets and elsewhere, and I didn't realize that's what it was. I didn't realize it had that cool feature. So I thought that this had a light. I thought this was going to be a light, but turns out it's not. It's just an emblem of some kind. Perhaps there used to be a light there on previous models. I don't know. It looks vaguely, the motor housing anyway, looks vaguely like one of the Korean Northern Air fans. Here's the switch in there where you can switch it from 110 to 220. The startup sound on this fan sounds just like the Toastmaster 16-inch fan that we looked at a couple weeks ago. It's crazy. It sounds exactly like it. Here's the information. Specs, feel free to read all that. It's made in Turkey in 1987. Never seen a fan made in Turkey. So that's pretty cool. That's different. Nice to see good things coming out of Turkey. I'm not sure exactly where Turkey is. I had to think about that for a second. And Turkey is not always in the forefront of my mind. I think it's sandwiched in over there amongst Ukraine. I think it's close to Syria. It's in that general part of the world. And I didn't realize that this was a dual voltage fan, and I also didn't realize where it was made. So it's very interesting, very cool fan. It's very heavy too, I should point out. It's pretty chunky. There were some issues with the fan though. I wanted to try to clean and service it and stuff before I made a video, but I didn't get that far. So I documented the issues that I was having, and we'll take a look at that before we run the fan. So we'll splice that in right about here. Here is the Raks fan partially disassembled. I wanted to service and repair the fan before I made a video, but I've hit a few snags, so we'll talk about that now. Here's the blade nut. Notice that the threads are completely stripped, so that's going to be a problem. I'm going to have to replace this, I think. They had some thread tape wrapped around the motor shaft here to help hold it on, but that's not going to cut it. Next, the rear guard has two holes here with the screws that would go in there, and these are very much like the Northern Air, like the Korean table fans, where they have this plastic cap on the end with like a flathead screwdriver slot in it. These were completely seized up in there, and I couldn't get them out by hand or in any gentle fashion, so I had to use the channel locks, and guess what happened? This one broke, and the other one plastic completely shattered and went everywhere. Here's some remnants of that, and I'll be probably finding pieces of the rest of it in the coming years on the floor. I was going to try to split the motor, service the bearings, but I haven't been able to get this thing out of here, and I don't want to go crazy on it. I have a hard enough time with the Lasco fans getting these things out of here. This one is even tougher, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with that yet. I should be able to still service the motor without completely disassembling it. It won't be a big problem, but it would be nice to be able to do that. The oscillator, I was hoping it was just going to be maybe a matter of replacing, maybe it just had like a missing ball bearing in here that was causing it not to work. I've seen that before, but no, this piece is broken. I'm not sure what this looked like when it was intact, but it has this groove here that matches up with this sliding pin thing fits on here like so, and I'm not really sure how that's intended to work. I'm not sure if it's important that this slides or not. I would think that I could somehow just join these somehow and maybe get it to, I don't know. Not sure what's going to happen with that yet. But that's where I'm at with the hiccups. Here is the transformer switch. It's on 110, so you could switch it over to 220 just like that. Here is, I guess, the capacitor. And it's kind of a weird looking, it's got 3.5 microfarads. I'm not sure. I was expecting to see a transformer somewhere, I guess maybe in the base. But I'm not really sure how that works. I don't know. But that's where I'm at with it. If anything, I'll put it back together and we'll test run it anyway, and I'll try to make this thing work long enough to run the fan to show you, but it's going to need some TLC to get it into any kind of respectable working order. It is what it is, as they say. And without further ado, let's see how the fan runs. I'm hoping that I used the same blade nut and I put some new thread tape on it. So I'm hoping that it'll stay on well enough for the video. Hopefully it doesn't come flying off and I shatter the blade into pieces or something like that. But here's high. I'm gonna shut it off again. I forgot about that startup. I want to get that startup sound. If you remember from the Toastmaster video. Lots of heavy vibration here. I think it's from the blade not being completely tight. But the blade is relatively tight on the motor shaft, so I'm not really worried that it's going to slide off. But there is a lot of vibration here, and the fan moves a ton of air. very strong. And here's 2. I'm hoping that the vibration will go away after all is said and done here. If not, that's going to be a bummer. That medium speed can pass for a high speed. Let's go low. Fan head's shaking pretty good on low. And it's not like a low speed. It runs pretty fast. It's not really ideal for a low speed, but it's quiet. Yeah, I mean, this low speed could pass for medium or high on some other fans. High again. And off. Bearings are pretty free at least. Well, it's going to be a work in progress. Yet another one, but really cool fan. Really interesting. I always like it when I can find fans made in other places that I know nothing about. Cool features. I wonder why you don't see more fans like this. Probably because people are, I don't want to say dumb, but you know, people would forget to switch this back to whatever voltage they're using, and that wouldn't be good. I could see that being an issue, but yeah, anyway, here it is, the Raks 12-inch fan, to be continued.